家好，继续玩这个夏洛特福尔摩斯第1章。现在要去那个哪个地方来着？这个要去老城市，是。哦，这边的话，传送过去。想把衣服给换了。然后往这边拐。感觉很阴森。
Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other. Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific! I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized. I have no clue how it was possible.
What about this intrusion? What happened?
Last night, I was about to leave the gallery when I heard a noise downstairs. I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance?
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
那有什么东西呢？
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. And I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
I wish I could show you the gallery under different circumstances, but life is beautiful in its unpredictability, isn't it?
You sure you don't like art? You sure you don't like art, Sherry?
地下室在哪？这个地方能进吗？只能去地下室。
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
啥呀？
A simplistic attempt at provocation.
那鲨鱼吧，这是。你干啥呢？
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
我这里放个船什么意思？哦，这又是啥？
Old and hasn't been used for a long time. The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness up. A handprint of the thing from another world. Thus it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane.
稍微移动过，移动过，移动是。
Sodden and mold-ridden. One presumes deliberately. Saturn devouring his sun. Oh, grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet
The parasites of creativity.
pitiful.
Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person
这有
could do
画
such
画
a
的
thing.
画呢？烧没了。嗯。
A Maupau butt. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache.
Sure. 用来挂画的。那还有什么东西可以收刮？不配。我还没有收集齐。那还有什么东西呢？要收集齐。我还漏了什么东西没有收齐呢？这里还没有开。
Closed with a metal bolt.
刮横风，刚出现不久。
Footprints. Size 9.5.
你别跟我说是从这里爬进来的吧？哦，开始门。这里是他自己伪造的，伪造。 听到有其他人来。哦，如果不是的，可能真的是他自己围剿的。没事，他躲在这儿，看看还有没有别的选择。感觉挺大的，如果真的是跟尸体躲在一块，我很怀疑是不是他自己做的。我试看看。
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft.
第一次就成功了。到时候伪造和如果自己伪造有必要吗？到底是谁弄的呢？那我现在要去。
The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
Extravagant paintings have been left to rot in a basement. A commentary on decay and the crumbling of society, correct?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many, filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see then why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
一瘸一拐的。
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My. Your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
描述一下。
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
这里还没调查，我先看看去。不知道地点在哪。现在只有这个。什么线索呢？这就是它。我要去哪里调查这个？好像没提到是他提某个地方，他没说。我现在在哪里调查这个东西呢？我是看看去这里调查呢，还是档案调查呢？还是去这里调查呢？3个点儿，去哪个调查呢？报社，去报社了，感觉不像是 不像啊。去看看，诶，怎么？
Mr. Holmes, I have something for you.就叫一个算命人吧。还真有。那个地址在哪呢？在老城飞鸿街和奥利佛街之间的爱马仕大道找到它。OK。附近吗？哦，你不记得这个地方，我去尝试一下。上面这个住处，这个不对，它竟然显示了住处，那在这附近了。
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, ma'am. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police. No visitors allowed.
不能去啊。
No visitors allowed.
叫我滚儿！我不能唱歌儿。喂，我唱歌那人在哪呀？这。线索又断了。我还漏了什么东西呢？不在这儿吗？然后现在。 我应该没有跑错方向吧？怎么回答无事情了？
I think I'll leave the exhibition in its current state for a while. I'll call it The Art of Vandalism.
这里还没调查完吗？而且是黄色的，我还漏了什么东西啊？难道说这些都要点过吗？我还漏了什么东西没调查？我都调查完了，没有东西漏了。这里面漏了什么东西？ 啥调查的呀？
The parasites of creativity? Or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests?
那为什么不亮绿灯呢？还是黄色的？难道我要去警察局？他不会被警察抓了吧？ 是给他去警察局。警察局，在这儿。那好像查不了啊，这能查吗？罪行，暴力犯罪。啊，受害者。是哪个区啊？这个，他这里真的不能查。我在哪找到他呢？要放在这儿呢？
May I ask for your assistance?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
你到底在哪里找他呀？他没给我进去调查。那他的人会在哪？
Any progress with the case, Mr. Holmes?
有新的案件。这怎么多案件啊？我这案件都还没弄完呢。可是在哪里找他呢？难道去这里？等一下，咖啡店。 就收一遍吧。可能我没有留意到什么东西没有收集好。再收集一遍，我是不是要收集齐了才是？我是漏了什么东西没收集呢？感觉我智商不够。到底还漏了啥呀？没东西漏啊！我说，
A true artist never shows an unfinished piece. A true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
啊，就是这个东西。这，哎，那收集齐了有什么区别吗？好像没啥区别呀。问题是我要怎么找到这个人呢？这个人我要怎么找呢？过去1周里他就是那个拍卖会出人，可是我去了他这个地点之后，他那个不给我看呀，人又不在呀。一找到他，我只找到那个婆，那个老太婆。难道说，等一下，该不会又是变装吧？等一下哈，变装然后他就去骗那阿婆吧。
Nice
Come,
affordable
come,
clothes.
decorate your
Let's
house
pick
in
something that
Oriental
suits you.
style.
他那个衣服，这个一样，买了之后，那还要什么？就是他那个图。
A good choice. A good choice indeed.
还有啥呀？胡子吗？
Nice of. Let's pick something that suits you.
哦，发型，然后还有啥呀？眼镜需要吗？5块钱儿，买呗。胡子需要吗？哦，好像有这个哈，反正5块钱儿，买呗。然后还有啥来着？这样子像不像啊？这像了吧？
A good choice. A good choice indeed.
像不像？嘿嘿。
Don't pass by. Welcome.
戴了
Welcome.
眼镜之后好像不像了。哎，算了，
Don't miss out on the best
那时候
art
到时候
on
不
the
行，再
island.
脱掉那眼镜不就好了？哎，应该是这样子，应该能进去了吧？他随时随地的变装。 钱啊！哪个位置？在哪呀？我忘了。好像是这个。哦，这样应该没问题了吧？
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah. Old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake! How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please, accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago, and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes.
这能上去了吧？可以了。进不去。咋了呀？这是？死啦！
Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife.
小刀或剃刀。还有哪没有解决？
Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. Could be the murder weapon.
这个就是凶器。
A normal kitchen knife.
Oh 妈呀！吓我一跳！我，哎呦，突然之间有个头在我。
Don't look at me like that, Sherry. I will not touch that dirty floor.
哎呦，在我的脑壳上面。刀子不见了，蓝色布的纤维。
It appears the wine was truly awful. I wonder where he got that fancy camera. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting.
它这个
It
场
is
景不
called
就跟这个一样吗？
expressionism.
那就挺像的。
Red skin,
Oh.
tails on the back, reminds me of Werner's
The photo
description of the
的画吧。
stolen painting. The chest has been searched.
有搜刮过的。
Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here.
是你照片的吧？这。
The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon?
是这样的。可是为什么突然之后又变得换他拿刀呢？自杀？他们哦，洗照片的时候出来。这个，然后。应该是这样子的，然后这个人就拿那个刀，然后就追过去，按那个抢那个画，然后就直接干掉了，应该是这样。
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him. It's time for some chemical magic, John.
变成做实验了吧？这也是负。是。 跳过，我想动脑筋。就这样，哎。然后这个又是啥？
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here. Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love... It wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl... She was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details. You always take me to the best of places, Sherry.
假装什么都不知道。哪个颜色？这乱点。
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
最近。
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
究竟抢来我的公寓。
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat. And don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Phew, Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
注意花海的。我接着我要切这个。
Hey.
Excuse me, just one question.
I'm very sorry, sir, but I can't help you.
Set up.
Could you help me?
Go back to your fancy house.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
Is this familiar to you?
So, you think if you have money we should bow to your whims? No, sir.
那我穿普通的衣服应该行了吧？哎，真麻烦。应该行了吧？
Are you able to help me?
We should stick together, especially in times like this. I'll tell you everything I know.
哦，看出来了。这个女孩脸上的坦克记号是不是安有一部落？没找到的安有能的地方就是位于这个之间的大桥。
Not bad.
看地图。桥，那里还有桥？不可能这边的桥吧？哪个桥啊？ 维多利亚，传送。我咋陷进去了？喝醉的荷兰人。
Did you hear another sailor stranded on the beach?
Are you able to help me?
Darling, you don't have enough money to open this now.
Does this poster truly claim that Cordona has a ghost? Unholy howls keeping you inside at night?
是吧？
Luigi can
哦
help. All ghosts gone. Meet
这
on
怎么这
southern
么
pier
干净啊？
of the Silverton Port. Donations gratefully accepted. This town loves the supernatural, but all I see is another scam to disprove.
The world shrivels under a skeptic's eye. That's why you're so sullen, Sherry. You leave no room for delight in the magical.
I delight in making the unknown known. Let us begin by asking someone about the poster and then pay this Luigi a visit at the port.
我会不会觉得太远了？他讲在桥那边。桥。这又是什么？这是另外一个按键吧？这个，我现在是要找那个，还是说就是那个呀？我怕是别的按键。孕妇跑哪去了？会不会在这下面？在哪下去？哦，这边。会不会在这下面
Beasts!
怎么了？这是
Murderers!
They're completely livid. First they come to our land, then they murder our people.
Drop them all into the sea!
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
小胡子显得自己更老。在共香蕉案的工作，看起来很有权威。看出紧张，紧张个啥呀你？ 就做。
The people in the crowd are shouting about a murder in the camp. Are you trying to hide it?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
If it was under control, if there was no dead body, you wouldn't be as nervous as you are. You would be sitting in your cozy dark corner of the City Hall room doing nothing as usual. Yet, you're here, trying to deal with a series of problems you never asked for.
These insults are inappropriate. You don't know what I'm doing for this camp. Even though the rest of City Hall doesn't give a bloody squat about the refugees, maybe I didn't want to be assigned to this camp. But I'm trying to do my best for these people. If not for my work, they might not have any shelter or food even.
I apologize, Mr. Harlan. Perhaps I was prejudiced towards you, but in any case, I'm sure that you would still want this to be over as quickly as possible. The current reality is that neither you nor the police are managing things well here. You are unable to calm the crowd. You have simply never handled a situation like this before.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Beasts!
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office, and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
从晚上聊到白天了，这是。
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body? 0.
Clearly a left handprint here. Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently. A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal.
These events are fractured into so many pieces. But I know you can collect them all, Sherlock.
Malpal, soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here.
哦，这不是闯入禁区的那个人啊？闯入那个
A steel
画廊那边的。
dirk, sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers.
这人是瘸子吧？
I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping, John. Violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John.
他就是瘸子。
Such a
If
mess.
they find out about
Let's
the
figure it
passage,
out.
everything will go to hell. If they find out about the Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell... Sherry, just look at this. We have seen some dark places in Cordona. But this...
Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. No hint of blood or impact. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately.
那为什么不马上治疗啊？
He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him. I think we can find all we need here in the camp. Let's have a good look around.
Do you know anything about this?
Don't distract me. I can't help you.
Someone was dragged against their will.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified. Back off. Back off.
A man's footprint. Police boots. Always happy to a heavy boot with a worn-out sole. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
You still here? Don't bother someone else with this, son. Your problem, not mine. I've already told you all I've learned.
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound. I can use this to stop the infection from spreading. I'll use it to create a solution.
Such a mess. Let's figure it out.
这很多布料吗？把这些拿来弄不行吗？
I've plated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
I think we can find all we need here in the camp. Let's have a good look around.
好救啊！ 哎，要搞这个呀！你越来越难，我又不会。 会跳。
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection. Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection. We have seen some dark places in Cordona, but this...
It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards. Are you able to help me?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
You know, Sherry, it's dawned on me to not clown around with knives anymore.
Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these grates. Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Back off.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? Huh. City Hall lubberheads.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up here exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away. for some time. But I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution, and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do, and what I am responsible for, are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
Are the police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the islands, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
Murder! Beasts!
A single Malpalbutt. Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
这个到底怎么完成呢？我现在都可以推理了，但是我还有哪个地方没有调查的呢？好像没有东西地方被调查了呀。哎，这个。碰了一丢丢水就死了。这个在哪？在哪？
Murder! Beasts!
Can I ask you a question?
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
Excuse me, just one question.
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
Time to check your who, what and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what and dressed as what?
May I ask you something?
I wish I could.
Could you help me?
You work, I count. There are no questions in this formula.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
那这个到底要怎么完成？就这样。 这是什么？应该是这个拖拽吗？哦，还有哪个位置我没有那个？好，没有，我等下一题。应该是这追赶，应该是。好疼！应该是这个。试试。
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword. No one deserves to end up in a place like this.
Back off.
You still here?
Inspector, I believe I can aid your investigation. I know who the dead man is and what really happened.
You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one you need to share your findings with. Speak to Mr. Harlow here. He's the one responsible for settling things in the camp.
You don't even care to listen?
Oh, I do care. And maybe even more than I need to. But I'm only here today to lock the place up, question witnesses, and file the facts. It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not among my tasks here. You fellows at City Hall do that. Anyway, speak to the supervisor. I'll just stand by and listen to what you have to say. I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clerk can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
现在
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Nayla? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Nayla doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway.
这个我还真不知道怎么弄哎。这。
Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
是小偷，是个走狗。
May I ask for your assistance?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You still here? Don't bother someone else with this, son.
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scaladio. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right? You're disturbing a hornet's nest. Here, son.
那这个到底是什么？直接问那个警察，到底要怎么完成呢？这个任务？
Are you able to help me?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
May I ask for your assistance?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
This isn't working. You might need a different tack. Such a mess. Let's figure it out. Sherry, wait. You might want to settle all the matters in the camp before leaving. You probably won't be coming back here anytime soon.
问题是，我这个我不知道怎么弄啊。
Is this familiar to you?
They often take us from the camps to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way we get a glimpse of freedom.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp.
At least it was certainly his last time.
Sorry,
My gut tells
we
me that we'll
don't
learn
see
more about
much
this
here.
ring when we find out where the thug came from.
搞定了。然后这个那个。
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
那我就走了。我要去那个事故场。
Is this... I just... need to collect my thoughts, Sherry.
怎么去这里调查？在哪里？对象是这个时间是这个登记。那这个要怎么查呢？
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
What? 没时间刮。眼睛很空，昨天没睡。已经很旧了，但是永远不会摘下它。工作到很晚。红色乌鸡红酒。
Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
You blame yourself for what you did. Won't be any good unless you confess to me, so I'll try to be polite.
What sort of did are we talking about? Are you from the press?
I'm here because of Naylor.
Who?
You don't remember her name.
Lad, if you won't tell me why you came, I'll call for someone here to sort you out, if you get my meaning.
Do you recognize this man?
We definitely look alike. But you have the wrong person.
Really? Then you won't mind if I pass this along to the newspaper?
All right. All right. Is this about money, as you said in the letter? What kind of sum are we talking about?
I've never written a single word to you. Bribery, not my style.
So, that letter, it wasn't from you?
Well, it appears that more and more people in the city are finding out about your despicable hobby, doesn't it? You're in the clutches of justice, and very soon they will squeeze you. It's in your best interest to cooperate.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? Psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt. Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
That's not all. Naylor deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I would accept that.
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such it. Is the arrogance of British
Have you
imperialism.
decided yet?
I take your point.
Have you decided yet?
Come on, it's not like we've got anything better to do.
把那个先调查完。走私，对象是嫌疑人，证据不知道，地区不行，地区是哪呀？
An impressive slice of life. The police had a lot on him, and at the same time, nothing at all. Amateurs.
来看我提交易，我为什么给照片给他
？Hello。
我是不是传错地儿？ 传错地方。
Have you thought it all through?
Not yet.
Have you thought it all through?
Almost. The refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the Crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his tricks.
But how can I believe you?
Ugh. I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy, savior and protector of those in need. It's a win situation for me, too. Now, what about the photograph?
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here. I won't bargain it for justice for Naylor.
I'm glad that this situation is over.
It will be over when you settle the matter of the refugees.
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
它是不是可以很多剧情的呀？我只是接受了一个。
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio, perishing in the pursuit of his art. Sense of humor.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
Unfortunately, I could not locate the missing painting.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, such disappointing news. Not even a shred of information? The slightest lead?
I'm afraid the case has gone cold.
I suppose if you were unable to find it, no one else could. What a pity. Oh, but I can tell. You learned something else, didn't you? What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important, after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear. I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine. And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
一个包裹，那我在哪看呢？回家吗？ 这大象放在这儿啊？这是啥呀？
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
美人鱼？
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything! I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental. Because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
那这个就放在这里啦，不放进去。
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
就放在这儿了，不管啦。我要放进去吗？那要不今天就先玩到这儿啦，感觉挺长时间的这个，就明天继续，就这样，各位拜拜。